Hey, what's going on? Again, a happy Monday. We're going to be playing with some off-camera flash. I'm not going to keep these images. They're real cack. But I just figured I'd show you the successes and failures. Very dark day. Raining off and on, as you'll see. And I was using the Godox remote trigger setup with the flash head with a homemade extender. This first image here, this was on the 90D. This is the EF 100-400 Mark II. And they are heavily cropped, and they are very noisy because it was so dark. ISO 6400, 255 millimeter, 412 millimeter, 35 millimeter equivalent. Exposure was 1/2500th of a second at f11. So what I did was I pre-focused the camera on just behind the perch to see if I could catch them coming in. So it was kind of a fun exercise. Nothing I'm going to keep just because of the quality of the images are pretty terrible, but and success rate wasn't too bad capturing these. When they came in, I would say success rate probably 60-70%. So I was using a remote shutter release with a camera on a tripod. So that's the first image. This is a goldfinch coming in. This is the second image. I really like this image, and it's too bad it was so dark and I had to run such a high ISO. It's just a shame. But pretty neat nonetheless. Camera, the flash was off to the left-hand side. As you can see, the left-hand side of the bird is more illuminated. And you can see the extender works pretty good. That works good. So let's jump up to, I think it's this one. I thought this was pretty funny. See what I mean? The success rate is very good. This was just an incredibly brief moment in time. And I did use the tone equalizer sometimes to adjust the background a little bit. Now, you notice the background is very dark. These exposures are not balanced to the background light and the foreground light just because it's so dark. To do that, I would have had to run like at least a 12,000 ISO, and I just wasn't willing to do that. I was more focused on illuminating the subjects and letting the background do whatever. So background can be adjusted somewhat using the tone equalizer and darktable. And I have done that in some instances, but yeah. Here's another one. Goldfinch making entry. Kind of cool. You know, is what it is. Not that sharp. I think he was a little bit too far behind. That's why I was stopped down to f11. So I could increase the depth of field a little bit in case they were a little bit in front or a little bit behind. Same lens. This was an ISO of 3200. And exposure was 1/3200th of a second. Let's see, this one that I was just on. Let me give you the exposure for that. That was f9, 3200th of a second. At 6400 ISO. So it's kind of playing around, you know. Get back over here. A little bit out of focus. We'll hit this one. This one I don't think has no processing. That's directly out of the camera. So, you know, if I let's see how bad it falls apart. We'll crop it in. See if she really goes to crap. See if I can get the bird feeder out of the way. see what happens. Oh, yeah. That's carnage, man. Look at the noise in there. We can try to do a little bit of sharpening. Let's do haze removal. Let's kick the sharpen in. Let's crank this up. Oh, yeah, she gets really noisy and bad. Hit the denoiser. See what happens. Let's bring up the strength. See if we can smooth it out a little bit. This is definitely an image I'm not going to keep, but I'll just show you some tweaking I do to it. Let's do a local contrast. And yeah, you can see how it's bad in the shadow areas. That's the disadvantage to a APS-C sensor right there. In low light, in shadow areas, if you have to crop it significantly, you will get a significant amount of noise. Let's jump to another image here. Last one. This is a little bit better. This one has been processed and cropped. This is 3200th of a second. ISO 3200 at f13. So f11 may not be enough for these guys, but he was coming in. He was just a hair behind the perch. So f11 would probably do it. I tried f13 just to see what would happen, and it looks like it helped a little bit. This has some sharpening and denoise on it. So, yeah. There you go, guys. Just playing. Figured I'd give you something to think about, a look at. There was one image in here. Let me see if I can get this, see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Okay, this was with fill flash. So there's a difference between stopping birds in motion and providing fill flash. You can see the catch light in his eye right there. Really nice image of the goldfinch. Fill flash is dynamite if you get it right and get everything balanced right, so you're not blowing the bird up, you know. This is another one. Very subtle. I really like the fill flash. And just to round the corner here and call it quits, there's a lot of talk about being careful with birds, trying not to stress them out with flash. I can tell you, at least these birds, they're used to me. They're used to the dog activity being around. The flash does absolutely nothing as far as stressing these birds out. Nothing. They don't fly away. They don't twitch. They don't do anything. The duration of the flash is so short that they don't care. They don't care. I mean, I've had, like 8 birds on a perch on that I was photographing. They were moving from that to another perch, and the flash would go off, and they don't even care. So, anyways, maybe in some situations that's the case, but I don't know. Anyways, I hope my audio is not too hot. We'll catch you guys later. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.